Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the concluding part of my video on how I almost got raped. Enjoy.
So I'm going to go ahead and blend this out as well. Just, gently like that. This is supposed to kind of wing out the eye, and if you saw my video about, if you saw my last video about my type of eyes and types of eyes and, lashes to go with it, then you would understand why my type of eye could use this. It kind of helps the eye wing out, helps my own eye open up, especially at that spot. So,
now I'm going to take this Real Techniques brush, which has seen better days, and I'm going to take foundation in my color just to give a good balance, and then apply it all over. Not too much, just lightly. So I'm going to be using Maybelline Cappuccino in Super Stay. I would normally not use a matte foundation for this process, for this particular step, but I cannot seem to find the fit me version of this product, so I'm going to stick with this. Now I've put on this side, if you can see that, you can still see the dimension, to my face that I got from doing my contour and highlight first. So I'm not sure how this matte product will change this look, but I don't expect it to change it much because my skin prep kind of kept my face humid, kind of still moisturized, heavily so. So, this man, this thief, this intruder, this son of the devil, son of God actually, God has many children, anywho. So this guy, he just abruptly got off me and ran off. I was screaming, I was crying, I was like, oh my God. Then the security boys, because you can't call them security men, but there were a couple of boys who kind of like managed that hostel. Okay, so I've taken too much foundation on this side. So there were a couple of boys who managed this facility, and it was after this guy had run off. I don't even know, because I'm not sure if I was shouting that loud, if I was shouting so much enough for them to have heard me. My apartment was the BQ at the back of this facility. Now let me describe how I realized that this guy knew what he was doing. It wasn't coincidental. He didn't just try to break in to like a regular apartment. He knew what he was doing. He clearly was familiar with this place where I lived at the time. I can't remember the name. I have selective amnesia, I think, because I conveniently forget the things that I want to forget and remember the things that I want to remember. And in this case, this incident, I clearly didn't want to remember it at all. So these boys came in, and it was then that they realized that this guy, he'd kept, what, a baby dryer, those ones where you wash a baby's clothes in the house. I'm going to just lightly set all over with this. I'm using this brush set. I really like it. I got this set off Amazon. It was less than $10. So we realized that this guy he kept the baby dryer diagonally. So between the main building and the BQ, there was like a little space. So he kept the baby dryer like diagonally between that space, so that if anybody was coming, they would run into it. I mean, I said this because he had also turned off the lights in the compound. You get? He knew where the security lights were. Even I, who was a resident, had no idea where the security lights were, but this guy knew where the security lights were, and he had turned them off. So clearly, he also knew he knew the people that were around. So there was a room opposite mine. The occupant wasn't around at the time. She had gone home. There were two rooms beside me to the left. The one right beside me there were two people living there. So one of them was around. So I'm guessing that maybe this guy didn't know that it was only one of them around. He must have assumed that the two of them was going to be around. And clearly, maybe this is just me doing my own conspiracy theory shenanigans right here, you know. So guys, I'm sorry, but I from the time that you saw me last and now had technical issues. The wasn't recording. So what I went ahead to do is I filled out my brows and I saw something on Scott Barnes YouTube and I tried it when I created this look initially. What it is I use this bronzer. So he used a liquid illuminator. I use a liquid bronzer actually, and I use this bronzer by Miss Rose. And what I did was I just put my spoolie in the bronzer and ran it through my brows just to further enhance the whole nudish glowy look. I use the same bronzer for my eyelid, and I use this eyeshadow by Huda Beauty, this particular shade, for the outer corner of my eye, just to contour my eye. So I didn't get enough depth like I wanted, so I used this, just a dusting of this to enhance that, and then I used the bronzer on my eyelid. I also first lined my under eye with brown pencil, this pencil by Jordana, but I wasn't quite satisfied and I just added a little more of black. Then I set my under eye with this very light dusting of this, because a light dusting of this. So I was saying that the guy knew, like he had inside information. It's either that or he did his own work, like maybe he befriended those boys that I said were our security officers, because I have no other explanation for how he knew that there were only two of us in the whole BQ. So the room beside me usually has two occupants. One of them was around, then the room beside theirs, the occupant wasn't around. I think it was even available for rent. Then the room opposite that last room, the occupant wasn't around. She had gone home. So he broke into her room. I'm going to be wearing these lashes just to have a little more. I've worn it before, so it's my second time. It's mine. So he knew that she wasn't around. He came prepared. He brought a chainsaw, cut the burglary iron, he cut it open and, came in through there, pushed it out and entered through there. And then we saw his footprint on her bed. She had a colored bed sheet that she left on her bed. Now he came in through there, but he was smart to open the back door. So there was a separate back door that he went out through. So he left that one open and used something to hold it open. So you see that this guy knew what he was doing. And between the main building and the BQ, he put this baby dryer. Those baby dryers that if you wash your baby's clothes, you don't want to take it outside. Yeah, he used baby dryer to block that space. So he placed the baby dryer diagonally between that space, so if anyone was coming in, they would have run into it, because he had the security lights of the whole compound, the whole facility turned off. Even I, who had lived there for quite some time, had no idea where the security light was. I'm going to set this down while it sets. Hey, don't leave me. Lash glue. So this lash glue is by Classic. See, I've used a lot of lash glues in my journey as a makeup artist. This lash glue is the truth. It is the gospel. Anywho, what did I do after I calmed down enough? I called my mentor, and he was the one who called my friend. Shout out to you, Pastor T. Thank you for always being there. He called my mentor. He was trying to calm me. I called my mentor, and he was trying to calm me down. He called the police unit attached to his organization, and those ones came. Like they came and patrolled the area. They were trying to look for him. They called me actually, so I guess they didn't see a need to see me. They spoke to me, and I tried to explain to them what had happened. Now this guy clearly ran into the building beside mine, which was also a girls' hostel. It was those ones screams that we now heard after those boys came and said, Auntie Kilo, after the bloody thief had run off. Anyway, they came and all. Then he called my friend, or he called my dad. So my biological dad passed on 27 years ago, 28 years ago. May so rest in perfect peace. But God blessed me with a dad, Revo. So it was Revo who called. So he's also my mentor, but it's kind of like it's more than my mentor, like it's my dad. So it was my dad who called, my friend Feyzo, who was Lano at the time, but now she married. So Feyzo came to get me, and I'm talking before 7. She had already gotten to my place. I can't even remember if I packed well, but that I packed what I could, and I was at that place for basically the rest of my leave. I was there at her place. I was scared of my shadow. When you hear that people suffer from PTSD, that's post-traumatic stress disorder, please do not belittle the experience. Do not belittle how they're going through it. There is no time frame to how you go through a trauma or you go through a grief. There is no time frame. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for grieving or for being in a bad place, because people are just, if you can't help them through, so I mean, it took all of my leave. Like it was hard to get over. You don't understand. Like, boom. I mean, so I went to my friend's place. I was scared of my own shadow. Like, how my own shadow would startle me. I would be taking my bath, and if never took off light, I would be scared. Like, I'll be calling my friend, and she said I was just a naughty human being because she thought it was okay to scare me. Feyzo, I still get it for mind. She may never get to see this because she doesn't know how YouTube works. Called you out in front of the world. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my second lash.
I personally prefer to use my fingers to put my lashes on because it's just easy. And even when I'm working on a client, I use my fingers. But they're always clean. No scissor shenanigans.
I'm going to use this same bronzer to just warm up my face. Just the perimeter of my face, my temples, my cheekbone, just to give it a bit more of a sun-kissed appearance. So, I was at my friend's place. It was bad. And when I even had to go back to my place, and I would have stayed on at my friend's place for as long as possible, if not because my leave was over and then I had to go back to work. But it was not easy. So I can imagine what rape victims have to go through, especially those who are unable to, relate their experience. And if not because, my mentor called her, I probably wouldn't have been able to tell her. So my laugh lines usually show themselves no matter what I do. I tried a lot of things, so I've learned to just embrace my laugh lines. I probably wouldn't have had the nerve to tell her that this was my experience. I'm not sure that I eventually told my mom, my siblings. I told them years after, and this I almost got raped. The guy didn't succeed, glory to God. But just imagine people who actually have to go through that entire trauma. Never ever belittle the experience. Never try to watch yourself, because it's so easy to slip into the role of being a rape apologist. Don't say, it's because of how they dressed or where they found themselves. Or empathy is so important. Be careful what you say, be careful how you say it, because you may think that you're just, passing a comment. I'm using Kiss Beauty highlighter because it's the closest. It's important that we properly express the right amount of empathy when you come across with someone who has suffered domestic abuse, any kind of sexual experience, because you don't know what they're going through. Except you've gone through it, then don't be a rape apologist, and don't be unfortunate and say something that would further make it hard for them to get over that experience. It wasn't an easy experience to get over for me. So I'm going to be using this lip palette. It's also by V-Beauty. I'm going to be using which other colors? I'm going to be using this and this to create a cream blush. I'm just going to mix it up oh okay, I'm going to add this peach to it, just like that. So I have this, I'm going to use that. Just I mean, I eventually had to go back to my apartment, left my friend's place.
I'm just putting some more powder on the eye, just because I guess crease is getting out. Well, that's it.
Let's do my lips now. So I mean, I had to move back to my own apartment eventually, and I had to call my cousins to come and live with me because I couldn't just bear to be alone. Like, I couldn't watch Grey's Anatomy. I think I said that already, that I couldn't watch Grey's Anatomy for months. I only started watching Grey's Anatomy again like 3 years ago, 2 years ago even. It just reminded me so much of my experience. And I mean, I couldn't even hug my male friends for a long time. It was just, this whole experience, it just kind of scarred me for a while. I'm grateful to God now I'm over it. Like, I'm completely over it. Now I'm talking about it, I don't feel the kind of fear that I felt when I had to recall that experience. But then one of the most amazing things that my mentor, my dad, one of the most amazing things that he did for me was, when just before my leave was over, he asked me to come to Ghana to see him. And, he had a therapy session with me. So he thought
God save your child, help me, please.
He talked me through the experience. He asked me, we just had a conversation where he kind of helped me, deal with it. I mean, we had a whole therapy session, and of course he prayed for me, ministered to me. So I felt better by the time I came back, from that meeting with him. And to the glory of God, to God's glory. Oh, shit. To the glory of God, I don't feel scared. My shadow doesn't scare me anymore. I sleep in the dark now. I still am able to play with my friends, my male friends, and I'm just grateful to God. So I'm going to be finishing up this look with this Huda Beauty lip gloss. It comes off as like this. It's a strobe light kind of style. I'm going to add clear lip gloss to this just to give it more of a kissable kind of look effect. Alright guys, Feyzo here. The look is done. My hair, so I had my hair in pipe cleaners, and if you're following me on Instagram, you'd have seen the bantu knots, not bantu knots, but the lock knots that I had on. So this, I'm going to spray my hair because I feel it's dry, my scalp is dry. This is a mixture of water and beard oil, because I organic beard oil, which has been my hair oil from inception. It's just going to spray my hair. My hair needs the moisture, my hair is dry. And then to finish off this dewy look, I'm going to be using this Carrot Dewy Spritz. I have used it once and I really like it. It really does give that dewy look. I'm going to spray some in my hair as well, so my hair just has that, that shimmer, that glisten. So while my face is getting dry and just getting set, I'm going to put a little more of the highlighter that I used before, just to give that blinding, just to blind all enemies. And that about completes the look. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know of your own experience. I mean, you can share your own experience of any form of sexual abuse, rape. I know that rape is a very sensitive topic, but let me know your views about rape apologists, and being careful not to be a rape apologist. And if you've had this kind of experience, please let me know. Also, let me know what you think of this look. Every time I do this look, I fell in love with it again. I like it a lot, and I like that this is dewy and not greasy. Please be sure to comment, like this video, please. If you're still watching and you haven't liked, please go ahead and do so. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button right now, and do well to share this video. I mentioned the things that helped me through. I had a whole therapy session, I had my support system, I had my friend. Aside the teasing and all that, she was really supportive. She ensured that I wasn't home alone, even though she had her own thing going on, but I was on leave, so I literally had to be at her place most of the time. But she ensured to the best of our ability that I wasn't alone for too long. So you need a support system, find people to talk to, and if you want to reach out to me privately just to share your experience and get some encouraging words, please do so. My Instagram handle is in the comment section. So till I come your way again in another video, remember, be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Bye bye. Thanks, guys. Get into this. Hey, get into my look. See edges. Get into this. Hey, get into this.